You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode 189.1, our daily update on high school, college, and professional sports news in Central Indiana, with a little bit of major national sports news, anything that may be of interest to Central Indiana sports fans. It runs at 1 o'clock every day of the week.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report, thank you for spending part of your day with us. Today is February 27th, 2025. It's a Thursday, so it is another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, and I love Central Indiana sports. Coming to you today from Madison Grant High School. Producer Susie is in the control room at headquarters in Jeffersonville. Coming up, we have a couple of local boys basketball games. IU and the Pacers were in action. Ball State's women picked up a big overtime road win at Central Michigan. And second-ranked Indiana Wesleyan women opened the Crossroads League tournament play Wednesday with a big win. We will get to all of that and look ahead to Thursday's highlights. But first, please go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search Central Indiana Sports Report, and it's easy to find. We're going to start doing a lot of cool stuff over there. On Thursday morning, we released our IU Maryland women's basketball preview, and later Wednesday, we'll hear from our IU guy, Grant Schaus, about the Hoosiers' big win over Penn State. Early Thursday, I'll release our boys basketball weekend preview. Then Friday, we'll have our girls basketball state finals preview with Michelle Garman and our boys swimming state finals preview. And don't forget, our daily report runs every single day at 1 p.m. We give you highlights from high school, college, and professional sports in Central Indiana. There were only 2 local boys basketball games on Wednesday, and Cooper Sims had himself a night in Pendleton Heights' regular season finale, going 12 for 16 from the field for 30 points in the Arabian 62-48 win at Centerville, a really nice Centerville team. Sims and the Arabians outscored the Bulldogs 21-8 in the fourth quarter to take the win and improve to 9-14. Pendleton went 4-2 in its final 6 regular season games and will face second-ranked Greenfield Central in Tuesday's second quarterfinal at Muncie Central. Centerville was led by freshman Jace Hollendonner's 20 points. That kid is going to be one to know. Eastbrook saw its 7-game winning streak come to an end with a 47-33 loss at Bluffton. The Tigers led 16-3 at the end of the first and 31-15 at the half. They were led by Declan Greaser's 16 points. Eastbrook's Draven Collins also had 16 points to lead the Panthers, and Bodie Howell added 10. Regionally, Greenfield Central improved to 21-3 with a 72-44 win over Perry Meridian. Braylon Mullins, the All-American who is headed to UConn, scored 26 points and became Greenfield's all-time leading scorer with 2,065 points, passing former Elwood Panther John Hamilton. Also, Huntington North picked up its 10th win of the season, 64-40 over Fort Wayne Canterbury. And 3A number 7 Crispus Attucks beat Ben Davis 54-46. Tyrese Halliburton had perhaps his most efficient game of the season, and the Pacers beat visiting Toronto 111-91 Wednesday. Halliburton was 12 for 15 from the field, 7 for 9 from behind the three-point arc, and was perfect at the foul line for 33 points. His most points since he scored 33 in a win over the Heat on January 2nd. He also had 11 assists, 3 steals, 3 rebounds, and 2 blocked shots. Halliburton says he's just trying to do whatever it takes to help the Pacers win and get a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs this spring.
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to, play the right way, take good shots. I feel like on my 15 shots, I feel like all of them were good shots. Maybe it was I rushed when I hit the 4 in a row. The 5th one I rushed a little bit, but just trying to take what the defense gives me. And I think I just understanding we've played enough where there's been enough of a sample size that, it's no secret when I score the ball, we win games. So I'm just trying to be aggressive, trying to help us win games. That's all I really care about. We're trying to lock in the top 4 seeds. So just trying to approach every day the right way.
Indiana trailed Toronto 28-26 early in the second quarter before Halliburton and the Pacers caught fire. They held Toronto to 16 second quarter points and led 51-41 in the half. They pulled away in the second half and were never seriously challenged after halftime. It was 83-64 by the end of the third quarter. Miles Turner also had a big night for the Pacers, going 6 for 8 and a perfect 5 or 5 on his three-point attempts, and had a double-double of 18 points and 10 rebounds. Pascal Siakam scored 15, Aaron Nesmith 12, and Benedict Mathurin finished with 10 points off of the bench. The Pacers are now 33-24, fourth in the East, 4 games behind third place New York. They are ahead of Milwaukee and a sizzling hot Detroit Pistons team by a game in the standings. Detroit won its 8th game in a row Wednesday, beating world champion Boston by 20 points. Emmanuel quickly led Toronto with 18 points. The Raptors are now 18-41. IU picked up a big 83-78 home win over Penn State Wednesday. Neither team led by more than 5 points at any point in the game over the first 35 minutes. Penn State took a 65-60 lead with 8:07 left on an Ace Bailey layup, but IU answered with a game-changing 23-13 run led by Trey Galloway. Omar Ballo started the run with a basket and a free throw. Then Galloway hit back-to-back threes, and IU never trailed again. Miles Rice also hit a huge three-pointer with 2:46 left, then played excellent defense on Zach Hicks' potential game-tying three-pointer with 17 seconds left. The Hoosiers are now 17-11 overall, 8-9 in the Big Ten, and go to 13-15 Washington and 20-8 Oregon for road games on Saturday and Tuesday. IU head coach Mike Woodson said every game is crucial at this point.
These guys are playing for something. We're trying to get in the tournament. And, we got 3 games left. Got to go out west now tomorrow. And we got a few days to prepare and get ready for Washington.
Omar Ballo finished with 20 points to lead the Hoosiers. He also had a game-best 12 rebounds. But it was Galloway who fueled the late run. He finished with 16 points and 9 assists and drew praise from his head coach.
Well, he's had a tough go at it. You guys gave him a hard time at one time. There's a lot of things, man. But I never stopped believing in Trey. Trey's been with me the longest. He's put up with a lot from me. And, I trust him. He does a lot of good things on the floor. Yeah, he makes mistakes. They all do. I make mistakes. But at the end of the day, I know he's going to play hard and give 100% when he's out there. And that's all you can ask for.
Mackenzie Mbako and Rice both finished with 13 points. Penn State's Ace Bailey led all scorers with 22. He also had 6 steals, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. Don't forget that later Thursday, our IU guy Grant Schaus will break down IU's win. Also, Michelle Garman previewed Thursday night's IU versus Maryland women's game. Make sure you go find those. Speaking of women's college basketball, Ball State picked up a much-needed overtime road victory on Wednesday, 60-58 at Central Michigan. The Cardinals hold a 2-game lead atop the MAC standings with 3 games to play, 2 of those at Worthen Arena. On Wednesday, Central Michigan held a 47-42 loss against a Ball State team that has lost 3 of its last 4 coming into the game. The 5-point lead was the largest game of the lead by either team. That was with 4:25 left. Maddie Bischoff made a 3 that started a 7-2 Ball State run that sent the game into overtime. Ali Becky's 30 jumper with 33 seconds left in overtime turned out to be the game winner. The Chippewas had 3 chances in the final 9 seconds, but missed 3 potential game-tying layups. Lachelle Austin was clutch throughout the fourth quarter and overtime and led the Cardinals with 17 points. Marie Kiefer also had big moments down the stretch of the win and finished with 10 points, 16 rebounds, and 5 blocked shots. Ball State goes to 11-15 Western Michigan on Saturday at 1 with a chance to clinch a share of the MAC regular season championship. The game could be seen on ESPN+. Then the Cardinals host Buffalo and Ohio in their final 2 regular season games. The Cardinals are 21-7. Indiana Wesleyan advanced to Saturday's Crossroad League semifinal with an 89-55 win over 8-seed Goshen. The Wildcats will host 19-10 Spring Arbor on Saturday in the semifinal round. 26-3 St. Francis and 23-6 Marion will meet in the other semifinal Saturday in Fort Wayne, with the winners playing for the conference championship on Tuesday, March 4th. In Wednesday's win, the 27-2 Wildcats led 24-12 at the end of the first and 43-26 at the half. They shot 57% in the second half and got 21 points apiece from Lily Frazier and Taylor Folkema. Frazier was 8 for 12 from the field, 5 for 6 at the line, and had 7 assists, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals in the win. IWU had 15 steals and forced 23 turnovers in the victory. In college baseball, IU Kokomo lost 8-4 at St. Francis, Illinois on Thursday. The Cougars took a 2-0 lead in the top of the first on junior Gavin Smith's 2 RBI single before St. Francis scored 4 times in the bottom of the first and led the rest of the way. Smith and junior Mason Jans had 2 hits apiece. Jans scored a run and drove in a run. And in men's swimming, IU's 200 medley relay team won the first championship of the Big Ten Championships Wednesday in Minneapolis. Luke Barr, Brian Benzing, Finley Brooks, and Matthew King won the relay in 1:21:39, a new Big Ten meet record. The Hoosiers were 4th in the 800 freestyle relay. There are 4 finals on Thursday: the 500 free, the 200 IM, the 50 free, the 200 free relay, and 1 meter diving. Ball State is currently in 5th place after the first day of the MAC Women's Swimming Championships in Buffalo. Akron, Ohio, Miami, and Buffalo are the top 4. The competition continues Thursday with finals in the 500 free, 200 IM, 50 free, 400 medley relay, and in diving. There are 2 local high school games on Thursday. 15-7 Taylor takes on 7-15 Alexandria. Taylor's 2-6 in its last 8 games. Alexandria is 4-5 in its last 9. That game is scheduled for 7:30. And CIC champion Blackford is 13-9 and goes to 2-19 Burris for its regular season finale at 7:30. I spoke with Blackford head coach Aaron Daniels about what he expects from his team in the final game of the regular season.
Well, as you get into this time of the season, everybody's looking forward to sectional, and you can't look past, any game at the end of the season, especially a sectional opponent like Muncie Burris. They're on the other side of the bracket. So we want to see us put together 32 minutes, and not overlook anyone. On paper, they haven't been great, but, you watch them on film, they've got some really good athletes. It looks like they have the potential there, and they just haven't been able to put it all together. So for us, we want to see us put 32 minutes together, a complete game, get some momentum, and build something heading into sectional next week.
And of course, you've lost your last 2 games, of course, against really good teams, but really need a win heading into the tournament, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we love the way our schedule has kind of worked out. With Snyder getting moved later in the year, we know that was a really tough test for us. And we have a really good basketball team. So we want to find a way to win and get back on the winning track and do all of those things before we head into sectional next week. And, it's not going to be easy, with the bye. You're going to play somebody that's already got a sectional win next week. So it doesn't get any easier. So that makes tomorrow even more important to get back on track before you head into sectional.
Also, on a very slow Thursday evening, IU's women host Maryland. IU 17-10. Maryland is 21-6 and ranked 19th in the country. That game is at 7 o'clock and can be seen on Peacock. Again, Michelle Garman previewed that one. Go find that segment, please. Purdue's women are 19-8. They are 10-17 Penn State. The Indiana Mad Ants go to San Diego for a game at 10 p.m. In college baseball, 3-4. Grace is at 9-4. Taylor for a doubleheader. Games are at noon and 3. And in men's volleyball, 6-7. Ohio State visits 10-5 Ball State. That game is at 7 o'clock at Worthen Arena. And now you know everything we know about Central Indiana sports. Thank you so much for listening. Please do us a huge favor and help us grow by telling your friends and family about the Central Indiana Sports Report. Just copy and paste the link to this episode and share it as much as you possibly can, and we thank you in advance. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.